Hello everyone and welcome back to another trading session. Today is 6th of March 2024. We are almost 20 minutes until the stock market open. So let's review what is happening right now. Firstly, I will check if we have any news events, and I know that we have at 10 a.m. two new news releases. I'm not very familiar with this one, Fed Powell testimony as a high impact news. I've never really noticed this one, so I'm interested to see how this will behave at the 10 a.m. And we have also the job openings news release. So these two news releases combined will probably inject some volatility in the market. We might see some consolidation before the 10 a.m. news release. But for now, let's just check what has been happening. Okay, I'm checking ES. If there is anything interesting. Let me pull up the ES right here actually, instead of on my other monitor. So on the weekly chart, let's remove all the drawings. On the weekly chart, we can see the candle is quite bearish, but it's starting to pull back. We have touched this down close candle again during this week, but I noticed that I had a sell side liquidity marked over here, and we were not able to sweep it yesterday. But of course, we have repriced the whole buy side imbalance over here, and we also touched the previous buy side inefficiency over here. Then on the 4-hour, we have come back to this balanced price range, and then we also touch this order block. On the 1-hour, we have quite a nice bullish movement. We disrespected this bearish breaker. In case we would be going down, I would expect the market probably just have a really nice reaction from this CB and this breaker, but we can see that we actually disrespected this level and we are going up. So this is probably showing us that probably we will see today quite a bullish movement. That's on ES still, so we need to go to NQ afterwards. So I will mark this buy side liquidity right here, which is the next target. We are already touching the previous opening range gap. I will remove these sell side liquidity pools. So the nearest low is over here. This was from the news release. Actually, I'm not sure if there was a news release. Let me check it again, because I'm not sure if there was a news release at 8:30. 8:30, we actually had nothing. We had at 8:15, but not at 8:30. So there was quite a nice trading over here. So I probably expect the market to draw back to this opening range from yesterday and sweeping the buy side liquidity and maybe reaching up here, but let's see how much we can expect today. On the 5-minute, we are quite far from here, so we will see how we will open and what's gonna happen at 10 a.m. But these are the levels right now for the sell side liquidity that I'm seeing and highlighting. There is a big BC right here as well. In case market wants to navigate lower, this is an area where it might draw to. 1 hour BC. So far, I'm not trying to build any strong narrative. As again, yesterday I was trying to go one side for quite a long time and then I got caught up. The first trade was fine, but the second trade was still in the same direction as I wanted to focus on, and it turned out to not be the correct bias. And then when I switched, I actually took another trade and then it turned out to be profitable, that the market was actually just going down. So I need to be careful with my bias to not hold strongly my opinions where the market should go. But yeah, that's for ES right now. So let me go back to NQ. Let me just pull ES on my other monitor so I can see it. So on NQ, the opening range gap is still quite high. I was noting this buy side liquidity from yesterday that I wanted to target once I took my trade. The trade that I took, the first one that I went long, it was this one. We covered around 20 handles over here, and then we got stopped out. And then at 10, we had news released, and it didn't quite get this buy side liquidity, and I was still noting this fair value gap, but we were not able to sweep it, and we went lower. So right now we have swept this buy side liquidity and we have already touched this fair value gap. So as you can see, we already traded inside, not yet even to the midpoint, but that's something to know that we have already did sweep some of the buy side liquidity. But let's start from the higher time frame, what we can see. Did I have this marked up? I think I didn't. Okay, so we can see we traded up to the down close candle right here, and we went quite deep in the body. We went even through the midpoint, but as well as on ES, we have not swept the low. I was favoring that we would go down. I was noting in my video that that would be the target for the session for the AM, and if not, at least on the lunch or the PM session, this would be swept, but we didn't see it. So now this is quite an important liquidity pool as it created just an equal low. So this is something to note that we will for sure draw to this level at some point, and it will be a strong magnet, in my opinion. If we will reach there today, it's hard for me to say. But if I will start seeing some bearish signatures, then it is for sure in my eyesight that we will try to target this level. On the 1 hour chart, we can see we have here again a similar BC. 1 hour BC. I think I skipped a few time frames. So on the daily chart, we also repriced this whole buy side inefficiency. Then also we traded up into this one. I would like to see if we traded to the midpoint. We actually might have, no, we didn't. We are off just this tiny bit. So we didn't trade yet to the midpoint. We respected the 50%. Then on the 4 hour, yeah, we have also the same scenario. Oh, sorry, I think I was reviewing already on NQ. I'm just repeating myself. Okay. So this is a really important sell side liquidity pool on the higher time frame. On the 1 hour, we have here this buy side inefficiency. No, sorry, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. Then we have this bigger one, but I just don't want to have multiple fair value gaps highlighted in an area where on each time frame there is an inefficiency. So I'll just keep this one as it was there from yesterday. Then we have some buy side liquidity here. Here is a 1 hour CB as well. Then there is some 4 hour. On the 15-minute, as well, we are now trading inside this inefficiency. We have also traded up into this one and we rallied up. So far we are respecting all the buy side imbalances. We are showing that we have quite bullish signatures right here. We traded up into this one. Here is a breaker as well, bullish breaker. We traded up and then we were working inside it for quite some time and then we rallied up. So we might see some bullish signatures today and maybe a bullish day. So do I have, yeah. So this is probably the first point where it might draw to. Let me highlight, this is a sell side liquidity, sell side liquidity. And on the upside, this is the 9:30 opening. So this is for sure the first level. Then these highs over here and repricing the opening range. So I want to note also where is the opening range for today. So this is one. Then the open I will need to mark after 9:30. And then I will do the same on ES. Let me do it just right now. And then again, I will need to wait for the open. Okay, so for now, I'm not seeing anything interesting for me. I see that we are quite bullish still. And in order for me to take a trade to the upside, I will need to have some sell-side liquidity swept. And for now, I don't see anything. We have some lows over here as well. If we go low here and potentially have a BC, that might be an opportunity for me. But for now, there is nothing, so I'll just watch the price, how it will go. And if there will be anything interesting, I'll just point it out. I would like to know if maybe at this level, there will be a potential turtle soup at these lows. That if we are to be bullish today, because I see ES is going quite higher right now, and NQ is quite slow, that maybe it wants to first sweep some sell side liquidity before going higher. So probably we can expect some sell side liquidity sweep before, or maybe it will just ramp higher. But I believe that this session we will just go higher. And as you can see here, that's what we can see NQ doing. So we have here our first interesting point where it can draw to. I think ES just touched a buy side liquidity, but not really. Oh, I have it highlighted wrong. So yeah, we have probably made the same high. So this is 5121.5. And yeah, we have made the same high right now. But NQ is still reaching higher. So we are now also trading in the upper buy side inefficiency on the daily chart. But so far, no setup for me to take long. Even though I would like to, but it just went straight up. And again, today we can see that even though we have gapped, we have almost no trading inside. Literally no trading. And again, the opening range is quite big. Sometimes when I see, when I put these opening range measurements for the 50%, sometimes I see that at exact midpoint, I have some form of a liquidity pool. And I'm always thinking that when I see this, I think that, okay, this is algorithmic price. This will for sure go there. And many times it's the opposite. It never even gets to the 25%. So let's see where it will go. So I can now remember that this is the 50% of the range, the lower sell side liquidity. But if I want to go higher, I would actually need some form of liquidity sweep on the downside. So at least these lows I would need to get in order for me to get in long. I have some fair value gap here if the NQ is really strongly bullish where I could enter, but that's outside my rule, so I don't want to take it. The gap is like actually somewhere at here, so I had still time to enter, but that's not what I want to do. Maybe we will actually get opportunity to go short. But I think that's against what I think will happen for this session. So I'm not sure. It wouldn't be bad just because we went up so much and we are repricing this inefficiency. And we also gapped up. So we have an opening range over here, which potentially can be repriced. And also with ES, we have SMT because ES just now swept previous buy side liquidity from yesterday. I think it's the 9:30 candle. Oh, sorry, it's from 10 a.m. We are on micros. So maybe I could potentially try to look for shorts, but that depends if I will have the setup or not. What I would try to look for is these lows and this 8:30 low in case I have opportunity. Because this again could have been a Judas swing. And we already repriced on the daily this whole candle to the midpoint already, I think. I measured it quite bad. Here. Yeah, we are already at the midpoint. Quite hard to see with all those things on the chart. Okay, so we will probably have inefficiency right now. I would like to see the market quite reprice it more. 1800.5. So here is the inefficiency. In a few seconds it's gonna be created. I'm not sure if I will get entered on. It's quite volatile right now. Sometimes it would be probably better to just enter on market. So yeah, it's probably getting to these lows. And it's probably going to run without me. Yeah, it's already going. To be honest, I'm not sure if I want to... Well, too late. I think that was a mistake on my part. I think when I saw this swept, I should have closed the trade immediately. Because that's one of my targets, and if the target was already met, I should have closed it. But let's see, I'm already in the trade, so let's see how it will go. So here I want to cover 8. But not sure if this will actually just go against me. Maybe I should have just put my stop loss to break even. But I'll just let it run. Maybe here I should cover the 8. Can we get it? Oh, teasing. 1 tick, I think it was. Okay, we got it. That's good. That's really good. Okay, now I'm going break even. Here I will close another one. And as I said yesterday, I quite mismanaged my trades, that I only closed half of my position at the big target, and then I got stopped out on break even on the rest of the position. And so I was quite not satisfied with that trade management, because I basically lost out on half of my profit. So right now I will leave my stop loss at break even. I will not put it like closer or anything. I will wait and see how the market behaves. I could potentially move one of the take profits over here instead of wanting to go all the way down here. When it comes to the opening range, I know this is the 50%. So let me measure where is the 25. The 25 is somewhere around here. Okay, so we have not yet touched the 25%. But this has been already swept, so that might be enough for NQ to go lower, and then we will go again higher. As I was saying, I was interested to see if we get potentially maybe a turtle soup over here, and then we will start going higher. But I'm not sure if my trade was quite risky. The thing is, the trade idea was not bad, reading what's going on in the markets, but in my opinion, I shouldn't trade against my bias that I wanted to, what I wanted to see in the markets, that I thought that we would go higher, and I went short. But sometimes when I see the model, I just wanted to take it. But I think it was risky in terms where I wanted the market to reprice to the fair value gap, which was formed, but it did after it swept the sell side liquidity, which I didn't like because that was one of my targets. And I assume, as we have already been really stagnant around this level, we are probably going higher from here. And I'm probably gonna get stopped out in a few seconds. But maybe this is where I can get long. We will see. We will see what's gonna happen. I don't know if, in case I get stopped out, I want to get in another position so fast. Probably what I'm gonna do today. Okay, so we already have created a 30-second fair value gap here, and it's already traded inside the 30-second fair value gap. I'm going to highlight it. So basically this was 90.25. So this was the trade idea that I actually wanted to look for. And 85. Yeah, so exactly looks like this. So we have traded inside. We are respecting it, and we are trying to go higher. So this was actually the trade, I think, what I should have taken. And I think this will be the only opportunity that I will be able to take today. But so far, I think it was a really good trade, in my opinion. It was fast, it was volatile, and we have made, I think, the most profit so far for the past 2 days and today. So in 3 days total, we have made altogether 630, which is really nice. It's really good. So we have touched again this opening range gap. There is a small 2 down close candles over here, which could have acted as a breaker, as a bearish breaker. So I'm really trying to be careful what I'm demanding from the market. So from here, if I would enter on this trade, I would need to cover most of my position here. So let's see if we would even get this first take profit or partial. Maybe it was just trying to reprice, come back again to the opening range gap, and maybe we will see again lower prices here. Or maybe it just wanted to go deeper again to the fair value gap. But this is something that I'm tape reading right now. I would not enter in case it's going down again into the fair value gap. I'm just noting it and looking how it behaves. Then I can self-reflect on the trades that I take. So basically on this one, how good the trade was, if it was the best trade for today that I could have taken, or if I should have waited more and wait for the sweep, which I was anticipating, because I liked these lows, how they were hanging down here quite equal. And if this is the potential long and not go against my bias that I went short, I should have waited for this setup to present and take this one. But to be honest, if I would see the market touch this level and coming back to my entry multiple times, I would be quite nervous about it. I like these kind of trades where it goes fast. Well, of course, it was fast because it was at 9:30 opening, just a few minutes after it. So, of course, at the open, the market is volatile and fast. So, but so far, the trade idea would be looking fine. I would be still in profits, just small ticks or handles in drawdown. My stop loss would be, as always, 10 handles. So over here, which in reality should be down here. But I think if the trade is really good, you would not expect that much of a drawdown, but it depends on what is your leverage and so on. So my leverage is quite big. In my opinion, 10 micros or one standard mini contract is quite a huge leverage to use as a beginner as well. So I think I would have my first target over here. Yeah, 20 handles over here. That would be my first target. Then the second target would be up here. That would be around 37. And then probably, if I would be very optimistic, I will maybe try to look for one of these highs. Or if there is any inefficiency on the 15-minute, 5-minute. We have an inefficiency right here. So maybe that's what I would be maybe targeting. But let's see if the market will indeed go much higher. So while I'm looking at ES on the 5-minute, it was just repricing to a fair value gap. And it's starting to respect the fair value gap. Whereas NQ have not made any fair value gap on the 5-minute chart. We have a small fair value gap here on the 1-minute. Also on the 3-minute and on the 2-minute. And it's again coming back down. So it seems both trades would be at the same position, that I would get 20 handles and then I would get stopped out on break even. So both scenarios would result in the same profit targets. We could have another opportunity to maybe get short if the market is bearish, that it wanted to just retrace more in the opening range and then went higher. So the fair value gap is at 18,092. So over here. I'm not sure if I want to enter on this one or not. I would not get the feel yet. I'm just thinking about it, if I want to push for more or not. But probably you could maybe even enter on market. It was just a few ticks away. I think it was just 1, 2, 3, 3 ticks away from the fair value gap. So if you would be impatient, you can enter on market. So my initial stop loss was where? So I entered on 18,101. So I entered here my short. So my stop loss would be here. So I would get stopped out if I was in the position. On the ES, it looks much better. It didn't even get up here. But this was the 5-minute fair value gap that I was talking about. Do I have... I think I don't. Wasn't I marking this? Maybe I forgot on ES to mark it. Let's go on the 1-minute. And let's mark the opening range. 30. I have too many lines over here. Sometimes I don't like to highlight literally everything, but it is what it is. Let me remove this. Maybe this one could have acted as an inversion. 30-second fair value gap for someone. But we still didn't get the trade inside this 30-second fair value gap, which begins at 18,092. And to be honest, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has been already 5 candles, and now it's the 6th one. And in my trading rules, this is not already a valid setup for me. So even if I would want to enter, I should follow my rules and I shouldn't even try to enter on it and have a limit here. So if I would put a limit here, I would need to remove it. And as I said, we have 2 news release coming up at 10. So in 10 minutes, I will mark it here with a vertical line. And we can maybe see some stagnation and bad choppy price action before the news are released. And that's when the market will start going. Because as you can see, we have made price range or price leg over here, came back, we came back down, and it's not really showing us where it wants to go. So probably here, around here, is the 25% of the opening range gap. That is for this day. This is the high. Here should be the 25%. Here is the 50%. And it seems we are going to sweep this sell side liquidity in any minute. I see we have SMT with ES also on these lows. ES was not able to make a new lower low as NQ have done. I'm not sure if that will be signaling us that this is the low and then we will reach higher again. But this is not yet a price action that I'm very confident to say where are we heading. I don't like this price action so far because a lot of the things that I wanted to pan out were already done prior 9:30. So that's why now I need to just think, what is the next step? What is the next draw on liquidity, and what can we expect in the market? So that's why it's quite difficult for me to say. Maybe we will have another opportunity to get long here. I'm not sure. No, the candle is rebalanced. Maybe we'll be just waiting for the 10 a.m. and see what the price action will look like. And maybe a few minutes after 10. On the 1 hour chart, I want to see something. So we can see from this high to this low, we have already repriced more than 50%. We have this fair value gap right here, which we almost filled entirely. And we have this breaker right here, which we could have been respecting right now. So that's something to know, that this might show us some bearish signatures. And also I was talking about this sell side liquidity, but I'm not sure if this is the target for today or maybe for this week. We'll see. But I want to note, the thing is I have a lot of things here. So I'm gonna do it on this side. I want to know the 50% of this whole price lag. Okay, so we have already traded inside the 50%, the equilibrium of this whole price range that we have made, this downside movement. So we came back up to the 50%. We are actually even respecting the 50%. We are trading inside this breaker, inside this 1 hour fair value gap. So we might be looking for lower prices actually. I quite like how it looks on the higher time frame, on the 1 hour most of the time. So yeah, this looks nice. So in my opinion, I think the short trade was the good choice to go short. However, I'm not that satisfied that I didn't had so much confirmation and confluences behind it. I have it pretty much later on. But let's see if we have any other opportunity. So then again, I think this one was the next opportunity to get short, but unfortunately we didn't get any opportunity to get short. We haven't been traded in the fair value gap that was formed. Now we have swept the sell side liquidity. But again, ES is not able to make another low. We can see the low was created at 938, and after that, not going lower. On NQ we have swept already this one. And as we have swept the low, we have a strong bullish candle. And in 3 almost minutes, we will have news release. I'm looking at this fair value gap right here. I think this was a really nice short, trying to catch the market going down to this sell side liquidity. But I'm not very good in catching the trend. But maybe that's something that I will keep an eye on, and maybe I will get used to it. And let's say yesterday I did catch a trending trade, but I'm not very experienced and good with these. So we are closely coming to this 50% opening range gap and sell side liquidity. We have also this 1 hour inefficiency down here. So that might be next potential draws. But again, ES is not following at all. It's very slow. So we might see some consolidation on ES before 10, but I guess NQ is very impatient and he just wants to go. In a few seconds we have the news releases. So the next 1 minute candle will be the news release. And I'm expecting the NQ to actually sweep the sell side liquidity and drop down maybe in this 1 hour liquidity as well. I'm not that much confident in NQ to going up. We have touched barely. Okay, now we traded more inside the 1 hour fair value gap. So we also repriced the 50% of the opening range. Now we also traded through the midpoint of the 1 hour fair value gap. So let's see how the market will behave from this point on and a few minutes after. Maybe what I will do, I will try to maybe take another trade, but only with 3 micros. So this was quite a huge retracement. Again, ES was not able to follow. It was not able to sweep the 830 sell side liquidity. And it also has another sell side liquidity here and also a 1 hour fair value gap here. It's not really showing that much downside movement. So let's see if these are the levels where NQ was trying to look for it to go higher. If I will have any setup for a long, I might take it. But again, I will just try to risk 3 micros. And I think this would be a good area to try to look for it. But if we will just keep going lower, I'm probably not going to touch it. Because we already went down so much. And I have already been in a short right here. And I was not able to hold on to the trade. So I probably don't want to continue looking for shorts again. It would be good to probably have the reversal here, because most of the time from 9:30 until 10, that's when the fake move happens. So we have the retracement here. Let me also measure from here. So we also trade inside the 50% of the range and also to the OTE levels, but we might be looking maybe for lower prices. We will see how the market reacts from this point on and in the next couple of minutes. I would probably try to go long, but I'm not sure if there will be setup. So let's just review the price and see if there will be any buy side inefficiency. I should always call it buy side imbalance and not inefficiency, but for some reason I'm always saying inefficiency. Because it's like buy side imbalance and sell side inefficiency. I'm looking that there is also still this bullish breaker right here. And we might see some reaction here because we already traded into the opening range gap low. Here is a bullish breaker. We have swept this sell side liquidity. Yes, was not able to go that deep down. And this could be a potential area where we can expect market to go the opposite side. And I assume we will have a fair value gap on the 30 seconds chart created somewhere around here. But maybe there will be immediate rebalance of the gap. But I'm going to check it, and it's at 988. I'm not sure if I want to take it, but I think it's a good opportunity to try it, as we have already done, I think, enough on the lower end. So in a few seconds, it should be formed. Okay. I don't want to risk more, even in terms of the stop loss. I don't want it to start going lower anymore. Let's see if I get tapped in, and if I get maybe stopped out. Again, I just wanted to use lower leverage, as I don't want to risk much of my profits. But then again, it was going down so much that I'm not sure if it will just continue going down. But I think this is a good area where I can try to look for long, for reversal. But it might be just strongly bearish, as it was yesterday. Yesterday I did the same thing and I got stopped out. So I'm not very confident in this trade, if I'm being honest. But I would rather just try it mechanically and see if there is any potential like this one. So I will probably cover, if I get the opportunity, I will cover 2 here. I don't want to strike for any big trades. Or maybe I should maybe cover only 1. And then go for maybe something like this. If we can see some higher prices. I would like the market to already go higher from this point on. I'm not liking if it goes down again, because that might just stop me out. I should maybe cover the 15 handles, which already was delivered. But let's see. Maybe I will even put my stop loss to break even. But let's see. Let's be patient. Okay, 1 is done, so we can definitely move stop loss to break even. I would not want the market to come down here. But it might just stop me out. I was thinking if I would put 1 stop order over here, but I didn't get the opportunity. Maybe I should have left my stop loss somewhere over here, just to be safe if the market is going higher. And maybe I should have just covered the whole position instead of just closing 1. So that's again something that I need to work on. I think I was too greedy to letting the market go all the way up here. I should have just closed 20. Yeah, I think I should have just closed 20 handles altogether. So we can see my executions. I've entered here 988, 988, and I covered 808. So yeah, exactly 20 handles. I think I should have covered the whole thing. That's my bad. I mean, I can still enter the trade with the 2 micros if I want to. We are still at the same level. So it's still the trade idea. I would just not get stopped out. And I might do that. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I might put my stop to break even actually. Yeah, if it's going up so fast, I will probably just do this. Maybe now. I'm very, very impatient with what I'm doing, but I will do what I said. I will not change it. Oh, it didn't film in. Oh, 1 tick, come on. Really? 1 tick? Was it 20 or did I put more? I want to see. No, I put 20 exactly. Oh, that's really painful. Oh, okay, I got filled. So I actually made what I wanted initially. I didn't get stopped out. I entered again on the same trade idea. And now it seems it will start running. It was just re-entering back to the 30-second fair value gap. I wanted to have some runners on, but it retraced. But I shouldn't have moved my stop to break even, if I'm being honest. Because I believed we would go long, but then my stop loss is very tight. So sometimes I'm scared that it will be tapped in. But if I want to avoid it, I should just increase the stop loss. I mean, that's how you should do it. So we ended up with three trades where we have all winners. The last 2 trades are kind of the same trade idea. I'm not sure if I should count it as multiple trades. It's more like I re-entered with the same which was stopped out. So basically the same trade idea, no change of leverage or anything. So yeah, I think I did pretty much well today with the expectancy. What should I see in the markets? I'm very satisfied with my performance. So I will probably just review the market until 10:30 and I will end it there. So probably I will not even try to expect the market to do anything from this point on. I think I predicted quite a lot. And if not predicted, I was at least able to understand what's going on in the markets and not get caught up in any bad trade. I was maybe just scared of doing any trades that I executed, like this one, because of the volatility at the open and also here. But this was a pretty good idea to understand that this is really a good potential for going higher again based on this liquidity being swept. We have traded to the equilibrium of this whole price range. We have SMT with ES, where ES was not able to trade to these lows or the opening range gap. And we have traded to the 1 hour fair value gap, and instantly we can see that there was a reaction. Whereas on NQ, we also traded to the open of the opening range gap. So the opening range gap low, sorry, the open is here. This is from the previous day where we closed. This is also a bullish breaker where we also have traded in. So there were many signatures that were telling us that we could be looking for potential buys. Now on the 1 minute chart, I can see we are trading in again the 1 hour fair value gap. Now there is a new 1 minute fair value gap right here. And this is potentially, if we are still going to see bullish prices, this could be a silver bullet for going long. Now, if there are two fair value gaps, you should have, I will put it, if I would enter on this trade, I will probably just put it on the middle, just because it's quite a big range of the fair value gap. This is 15 handles. And also I would like to retrace more in case to be safe with my stop. But if there are two inefficiencies, you should cover your stop loss for both, because you might expect, or you might see NQ going even to this one. So, but me personally, I will be doing this. And I think it's not smart. I think it's not smart. But let's see if we would get entered on, and if this would be a good opportunity to get long. And what I would target, probably I would not target something like this. This is way too much in my opinion. So we have traded to the midpoint of this inversion 1 hour. And we almost touch as well the 50% of this 1 minute. So let's see if potentially I would get tapped in. I'm not trying to put any trade on, so I will just mark this one. If I would want to enter, if I would be filled, and how the trade would pan out. So in my opinion, I would strike maybe for 30 max, where most of the position would be closed, or basically at 20, but I think it would go for this high for sure. That's 24, so I would maybe increase it to 30. So it went deeper into the fair value gap, but it didn't go to the midpoint. But it did go to the midpoint of the 1 hour, and we can see the bodies of the candles respecting this level. We can see this is the line. Over here, the bodies closed at the midpoint, and it didn't get to the midpoint of the fair value gap, which is created on this 10-15 candle. But looking at this trade that I took on the 30 seconds, I think that was really good. And looking at the range, the gap was at, again, a 988. So this is where the gap was, and it already delivered around 45 handles, which is quite a lot. I was just not happy about this price, that it was still coming back to the gap. I was thinking that it would be much more faster like this one. But then again, we are still at the sell side liquidity pool. So that's why we cannot expect just to go down and straight up. So that's something that I need to work on in terms of my patience. And maybe I will need to work on my stop losses as well. That I might need to start increasing them just to have safer positions and not being scared to exit the positions just because I have a small stop loss and I might get stopped out from a trade idea that is really good. But just because my risk management is not at all good, I will then miss out on a lot of profits that I can make. But yeah, so far this trade idea for the silver bullet is really good so far. When I tried silver bullet trades, I would enter already at the beginning of this gap. So at other times I would be filled in, and it already delivered around 18 handles, which is enough. But actually today we made quite a lot of profits. So with these other trades, we have made 432. So this is my biggest day so far. So I'm really happy about the profits. I'm really happy about the performance. I was not taking any premature entries, but Also, the setups that I could find, I was able to find them only at these levels. So I wouldn't even get caught up in anything when it comes to taking any premature entries. I had a setup here, which we took, and we covered 20 handles. So that was the first trade. Then I had also opportunity to get long here, which would also result in 20 handles, I think. Let me see the gap. 1809.25. 90.25. So yeah, here. So yeah, I would also cover here in case I would take this one. So I had a good opportunity here. I had a good opportunity over here. There was a model here, but we didn't get the reprice if I wanted to go short again. So this one would be a missed opportunity. And in this whole price range to the bottom until 10.07, I would not have any opportunity to get long. So this was actually the only opportunity to get long. So it really presented itself quite nicely. And also the drawdown was not even that big. So 988, the drawdown was about maximum 9.25 handles. So even with my 10 handle stop loss, I wouldn't be stopped out, but this would be scary. This would be scary. But the second trade, I think I entered on at market 986. Yeah, and the fair value gap is like 9. This is right here, 988. So actually on this one I entered lower. So I was even safer on this one. But yeah, overall I think this was really good. I'm quite not sure if I should say unhappy that I didn't hold the second one, but I said on this one that if I am doing another trade with a smaller leverage, I don't think I should strike for like a big runs. I think with the second trade I should always strike for only like 20 handles at max, just because I don't have that much position in terms of contracts. So if I get to a certain level and to just close one micro, I don't think it's that, how should I say, that good to leave so much open in terms of the risk that I'm putting, to leave so much open and try to look for a big trade when it might not be the possibility to get so much reward and not being able to close out most of the position. So I think always when I will have the second trade with a lower risk, I will always cover at the 20 handles as a fixed profit. And always when I'm entering with the first trade with the usual leverage of 10 micros, that's when I will try to hold the rest like 2 or 3 micros for maybe higher targets. But so far for these 3 days, I was not able to get in any big trade so far. This was the only opportunity that I could have done that, but I was not able to hold it. And based on what I just said right now, I will not try to do it on a second trade. If this would be my first, that I would not enter here, and this would be my first, this would be a really good trade in terms of the reward. But I entered again with a smaller leverage, and I think it turned out really good. So for this one that I was marking up, as I was saying, the stop would need to really cover also the second fair value gap. And as we can see, we did indeed trade it in the second one as well. So your stop loss would need to incorporate the stop and the risk for this one. We traded in the midpoint of the lower fair value gap, and we can see it has immediate reaction and trying to go up. So let's see, after we made a new high here and a displacement lower, if this is indication that it will still go lower from this point, or if this was really the silver bullet that I was thinking and we will start reaching higher. But I think this is the only thing that I will be reviewing, this only trade idea. And in case this will pan out to not be correct in my expectation, I think I will close the session right here. So let's just review the market for a few next minutes, and let's see how this potential trade idea would pan out. So as you can see over here, the trade idea for the silver bullet was really from these fair value gaps. I was saying that also this lower one needs to be incorporated for the risk, because it tends to reprice to the lower one a lot of the times. But as you can see, we already have some bullish movement. We were still trading a lot, also in the 1 hour fair value gap. But you can also see ES is following too. It also was repricing in the fair value gaps, so there was also silver bullet there. And it's starting to reach higher. So for NQ, I think the first possible target that I would try to go for is the midpoint, which is also over here. So this would be for sure a place where I would probably cover most of my position, just because midpoint many times, as it is the equilibrium of the price range, it might start consolidate or maybe retracing. So it's good to cover at this point if you don't have any significant swing high over here. I mean, there is a high over here, here, and here, but they are too close to each other. So it's not really easy to me to identify which one is the really significant one having the buy side liquidity there. I mean, there is buy side liquidity resting on each one, but I think the midpoint of the range, the equilibrium, is a really good point to take profits. So if you would try to take the trade from the midpoint, you would get at least 38 points. And if you would be very patient and would quite get the entry from down here, which would be the best scenario, you would get 50 points, which is a really good risk to reward. With having your stop loss at the bottom of the candle, as you should, around 20 handles to try to cover at the midpoint of the price range. So let's measure it. So that would be over here, 47. So yeah, that would be really good. More than 2 to 1 risk to reward. Let's see if we will even have any more trading to the upside of the New York AM session, or if really at the equilibrium it will start trying to retrace, or maybe there will be some consolidation going on, because we had quite a lot of range even from the open to the downside, 160 handles, which is quite a lot. And then also we retraced back quite a lot of handles too. So for me, this is more than enough to see and predict and try to find any potential setups. So we were able to identify quite a lot of them. I think there was 1, 2, 3, and with this one silver bullet was 4. So I was even not thinking about believing we would go lower from this point. So I was still favoring that we will probably just go higher, based on the SMT as well with ES, that we will we were able to identify. So right now, I'm still seeing NQ trying to navigate higher. So I will not be here for the end of it to see what will happen. This will be it for me today for the trading session. So then we will see each other tomorrow in the next session. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this trading session, please leave a like, comment any ideas or anything that's on your mind. If this is even helpful for you, if you find anything insightful. I'm not really sure if I should even be in a position to be maybe teaching. I would rather take these series really as a informative videos and seeing how I document and trade, because I'm trying to improve. So I don't think that I'm at the stage where I can teach. But you can spectate how I do, how I perform, and maybe you will also resonate with a lot of things that I'm doing. And let's improve each day. Let's trade the best we can, and tomorrow is another day. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next session.